A developing story here at 5. A dog found tied to a set of train tracks in Enoree. Unfortunately, a couple found the dog before this could have ended much worse if a train had come by there while the dog was still tied to the track.
Just such an upsetting story. Fox Carolina's Karen Weimer live near that area in Enoree where those neighbors found that dog. Carrie, I mean, this could have been so much worse. So thankful they were there.
Yeah, guys, this is really an awful story. I want to give you a look at the active tracks where the dog was found. People around here tell me that trains come through here quite regularly. I want to show you right here is where the dog was tied up. You can still see the part of the leash where he was attached here. That doesn't give a dog a lot of room, and you can tell where these tracks are. People that found him said at first they thought maybe he had just gotten loose and maybe got hung up here on the tracks, but after looking at the knots and the way this was tied here, they tell me they know it was intentional.
I went walking through the woods back there and came out onto the railroad tracks. Looked down to my right, I saw a dog.
Dan Winkleman tells us after hearing frantic cries coming from the tracks, he went to investigate, but was not prepared for what he saw.
It had like a leash tether on it. And as I got closer, I noticed that, it could only go like 3 feet and then it couldn't go any further.
He says the leash the dog was in was tied around 2 railroad spikes in a figure-8 pattern with 4 large knots.
When I, without a doubt, found out that someone had tied him there so he couldn't get off the tracks, I was really angry.
He cut the leash and says the dog was nervous and covered in fleas and immediately wanted water.
To me, there's no limits as to what that person could possibly do. I mean, if you could morally do that, take that dog and tie it to where if a train comes, the dog's gonna die.
Winkleman says his wife called animal control, but they could not pick up the dog since it was the weekend. So they turned to social media and found Operation Care, a rescue group from York County.
And I certainly hope that we get the authorities to place him in an appropriate home.
Smith says their group accepts animals from anywhere and relies heavily on donations.
We just make sure that these dogs go to wonderful homes, and then we meet the families. We make sure that the dogs are happy.
Animal Services says the investigation into who placed the dog on the tracks is underway.
There is some tools in our toolbox by state law and local ordinance that we can utilize to get justice for the animal.
He's just a big love bug, and for somebody to do that to him, to tie a dog to a railroad track, I don't even know what to say.
Now, if you know anything about this, officials are asking you to call the Spartanburg County Animal Services office. Any tips that can help, they'll be grateful for. If you want to learn more about Operation Care, that rescue group that you just heard from, we've got some links in our As Seen On section, whether you're looking for an animal or you would just like to donate and help out. Cody, Tori?